So last winter in California, I started writing songs in a way that I hadn't for a really long time. And there was this kind of personal connection happening with the songs. And I found myself getting up in the morning, rushing to the guitar, sitting at the piano, pouring ideas into my notebook before they got away. Now, why that happened? I don't know, but that's okay, because we songwriters are kind of a superstitious lot. It's like, we don't really care where the songs came from, just as long as they show up at all. I had to make this record, and I had to do it in a really particular way, a way that challenged me and the players to bring our very best to every single take of every song.
He wanted to record real musicians in a real studio, live off the floor, and he didn't want it to be too clinical, for lack of a better term.
So when I first started talking to Luke and Arun about making this record, I said, we need 4 guys who love playing together and who can sound like a band in about an hour.
It was really interesting to see the reaction that these various top-level musicians had when we basically called them up and said, we're making a record with Christopher Ward. Great, oh, that's so exciting, and we're fans of his writing, and when can we hear the songs? And we're like, well, you can't.
I think in most cases, making a record in this way, where the musicians have not heard the songs before they hit the studio, it would be risky. But with this sort of crack team of just artisans of their craft, it becomes less risky, and that became apparent, I think, a few songs in.
We basically brought them into the studio the day of. Christopher sat on a stool with an acoustic guitar, and the musicians would be all in their stations in the studio all together, and they'd listen to the song. And they would write charts then and there and just get their kind of vibe for the song. And really, after playing it for them a couple times, we started hitting the record button.
We use an expression, we say no laptops will be harmed in the making of this record, and really what we mean by that is, we're using real players in a real studio and just capturing performances. We just sway.
Hey bud, can I borrow some change? It's Christopher Ward! Oh, excellent, man! It's Christopher Ward! Nancy, come here, it's Christopher Ward!
I trusted the songs, but being a singer again, that was a leap of faith for me. But then, when I heard what the players brought to this, it just lit me up, and I couldn't wait to get singing.
Mississippi, in the middle of a dry spell.
I really debated doing Black Velvet. I love the song, but it was going to be a challenge. And I talked to my co-producers and they said, what? Are you kidding? You're doing it. So that kind of made up my mind for me. You see, Alana's version was always like the performance of a lifetime. So I had to find a new way into it. And to do that, I went back to how I felt about the song when I wrote it 30-some years ago now.
He leave you longing for black velvet and that little boy's smile. Black velvet and that slow southern style. A new religion that'll bring you to the east. Black velvet, if you please.
As a songwriter ages, I think you change the way you write and what you write about. It's like the canvas is richer, but there's more cracks in it. I interviewed Paul McCartney before he was going on tour, and he was going to be doing Yesterday for the first time in 12 years, and he said, it's completely different now, because there are a whole lot more yesterdays. And I've written, over the years, a lot of songs for other people. And you bring some of yourself to that process, to be sure, but it's not the same as trying to write for your own voice and to describe your own emotional life. So in the end, we did this thing as we planned it, loose and live. The players were trying out ideas on the fly, exchanging ideas in mid-tune, and it was really exciting and totally inspiring for me. And I think when you hear the record, you'll hear that looseness. It was an amazing experience, and the real gift at the end of it for me was the joy of rediscovering making music. That was amazing. I loved it.